Welcome back, lawn lovers. BW here again. Hey, let's fix some fungal damage. It's September 11th today, and it's a good time for me to repair some fungal damage that occurred over the summer months. Here's the first spot. This is summer patch fungus that began to make a brown spot in mid-July. It was here in the exact same spot last year too, but much smaller in size. That's what summer patch does. It gets bigger every year. It's been dead for so long now that it just pulls right up. I've been painting it with green grass paint to cover it up until fall, when I could reseed it. Over here I have some new spots that just showed up within the last week or so, when we had a string of warm and wet nights. I'm not quite sure what fungus it is, but it's causing round areas of dead grass. Those blue specks are particles of the fall fertilizer I applied a couple of days ago. Here's some more summer patch that's been here since July. So let's get to work. First I'll just pull or rake out the dead grass. Boy, that left a small depression, so I'll put some of this mulch in first. Then sprinkle some seed over the top. And finally sprinkle some mulch over the seed. These other areas aren't as dead, so I'll use a rake to lift out the dead grass. Here I'll just sprinkle in a little grass seed and then cover it with compost and peat moss while working it into the soil. This will help hold moisture for the seed. Scott calls it topsoil, but it's really peat moss and compost. Some of these dead spots even show concentric rings, but it's not killing all of the grass in the ring, so it's probably not Pythium blight. My front lawn here is a mixture of perennial ryegrass and Kentucky bluegrass, so maybe it's killing just the ryegrass and leaving the slightly lighter colored bluegrass. In any event, I'm using some of the original perennial ryegrass seed I used to plant this lawn, so the new grass will match the old grass perfectly. It's always nice to have a little extra seed on hand for repairs like this. The remaining Kentucky bluegrass will thicken up on its own, but the perennial ryegrass needs to be seeded. I think I'll just sprinkle some more seed around and then cover it with some peat moss. Perennial ryegrass is easy to plant and establish because it germinates and grows in so quickly. The compost and peat moss will keep it moist, so watering can be minimal, and I'll just mow the lawn as usual. It only takes about 2 weeks to grow in. The peat moss I'm using is already soaked from being stored outside. But I'll give the seed a quick watering at this time to help the seeds and compost settle into the soil. In my last video, you saw me applying fungicide on my renovation in the hope of preventing fungal damage likely to occur from warm and wet weather in the forecast. Well, that worked. And I said that I wished that I had used fungicide on the rest of my lawn because some of it was damaged. Well, here's a look at some of that damage. It's October 8th now, and I have large circular patches just like some of the ones you just saw me repair. I wish I had taken this video a couple of days sooner, right after it happened, because the identifying characteristic of the fungus was much more visible at that time. I even have damage over here in my Mazama Kentucky bluegrass. The Mazama was so disease resistant this entire summer that I thought it was bulletproof. So what fungus is this? I'm pretty sure it's brown patch. If you look up on the web, you will find many examples of brown patch with this characteristic smoke ring on shortcut grass. You can still just make it out on this patch here. The smoke ring was much more visible a couple of days ago. You won't normally see this smoke ring on grass mowed taller than about an inch tall. You may be able to see the thin ring of completely withered smoke-colored grass. It's too late in the fall to seed this now, so I'll wait until spring to determine if I need to reseed this grass. In the meantime, I've been having even more wet and warm weather. Instead of applying a month's worth of fungicide to stop the fungus, I've been getting out at sunrise the last 3 days with my garden hose and quickly spraying the dew off the grass. This helps the grass to dry off quicker and interrupts the formation of fungus on the grass plant. I also suspect that the chlorine in the water helps kill the fungus. It may be an interesting sight for the neighbors, but this really seems to have worked for me. And it only takes 15 minutes or so to do, even on a large lawn like this. Don't forget to like this video, and then hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell next to it so you don't miss the next video. And remember, you can do it.